Good morning and welcome to NoorNews. Today, we report on the tragic school bus crash in Uganda and the latest developments in the Middle East, as Iran accuses the U.S. of targeting civilian infrastructure. Stay with us as we bring you these stories and more, starting now. Ugandan authorities have suspended all school-organized field trips following a catastrophic bus crash that claimed the lives of 20 pupils. The incident, which occurred while the students were traveling, marks one of the deadliest road accidents involving children in the nation's recent history. According to DW, the government's decision to halt school excursions is an immediate measure aimed at reviewing safety protocols and addressing the persistent issue of road fatalities across the country. While thousands of people are killed on Uganda's roads each year due to a combination of poor vehicle maintenance, speeding, and hazardous driving conditions, this specific tragedy has prompted urgent calls for stricter enforcement of transport regulations. Education officials have stated that the suspension will remain in effect until a comprehensive safety audit of school transport services is completed. The government is currently working with local law enforcement to investigate the circumstances surrounding the crash to determine if negligence played a role in the disaster. As the nation mourns the loss of the students, the Ministry of Education has emphasized that the safety of pupils during transit must be prioritized, and any future travel will be subject to rigorous new oversight requirements to prevent similar incidents from occurring in the future. Apple has reclaimed its position as the world's most valuable company, surging to a market valuation of $4.88 trillion. According to Al Jazeera, this shift in market leadership follows a period of intense competition among major technology firms for the top spot. The transition occurred as Apple's stock performance outpaced its rivals, effectively pushing the company back to the number one position in global market capitalization. Conversely, Nvidia, which had previously held the top rank, experienced a 3.5% decline in its market value during the same trading period. Analysts suggest that this volatility reflects broader investor sentiment regarding the long-term growth prospects of artificial intelligence hardware versus consumer electronics ecosystems. While Nvidia remains a central player in the semiconductor industry, the recent market adjustment highlights the fluid nature of valuation rankings among the world's largest corporations. The $4.88 trillion figure marks a significant milestone for Apple, reinforcing its influence within global financial markets. Investors continue to monitor these fluctuations closely as the tech sector navigates evolving demand and shifting economic indicators. For now, Apple holds the lead, marking a notable reversal in the recent trend of market dominance among the industry's primary technology giants. Amazon's autonomous vehicle subsidiary, Zoox, has issued a recall for its fleet of self-driving robot Axis following concerns regarding their interaction with emergency response protocols. According to Al Jazeera, the recall was initiated after reports indicated that the vehicle's software could cause them to behave unpredictably when encountering emergency responders, potentially impeding critical operations. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration noted that the software update is intended to address specific scenarios where the vehicles might fail to yield or maneuver safely in the presence of sirens or flashing lights. This development marks the latest in a series of regulatory challenges facing the autonomous vehicle industry, as authorities increasingly scrutinize how driverless technology integrates with public safety infrastructure. Previous incidents involving other companies have also raised questions about the reliability of automated systems in complex, high-pressure traffic environments. Zoox has stated that it is working closely with federal regulators to implement the necessary software patches and ensure that its fleet meets all safety standards for public road operation. The company maintains that the recall is a proactive measure to enhance the safety and predictability of its vehicles as they continue testing and deployment in designated urban zones. At least 8 people have been confirmed dead and 34 others remain missing following a devastating landslide in China's southwestern Chongqing municipality. According to Al Jazeera, the disaster was triggered by heavy rainfall that caused a massive collapse of earth, burying several residential structures and trapping residents beneath the debris. Emergency response teams were deployed immediately to the affected areas, launching large-scale search and rescue operations that are currently ongoing despite challenging terrain and unstable ground conditions. Local authorities have confirmed that the landslide has forced the emergency evacuation of more than 1,100 people from their homes to ensure public safety as the risk of further ground movement persists. Regional officials are coordinating relief efforts, providing temporary shelter and essential supplies to those displaced by the catastrophe. Meteorological departments in the region have issued ongoing warnings as the area continues to experience extreme weather patterns, which have significantly hampered the efforts of rescue crews working to locate the missing individuals. While the search continues, the focus remains on stabilizing the site and preventing secondary incidents. The provincial government has pledged a full investigation into the structural integrity of the affected zones as the recovery mission enters its most critical phase. Pakistan cricketer Mohammad Nawaz has been handed a formal sanction following a positive test for a prohibited cannabis-related substance. According to Al Jazeera, the all-rounder admitted to the violation, confirming that the substance was used in a manner entirely unrelated to his sporting performance or any attempt to gain a competitive advantage. While the specific details of the disciplinary action have not been fully disclosed by the governing body, the admission has led to an immediate regulatory response in line with anti-doping protocols. Nawaz, a regular fixture in Pakistan's limited over squads, has cooperated with the investigation throughout the process. The incident highlights the ongoing challenges sports authorities face in distinguishing between recreational substance use and performance-enhancing violations. Under the current framework, athletes are held to strict liability standards regarding any substances found in their systems, regardless of the intent behind their consumption. The Pakistan Cricket Board is expected to provide further clarity on the duration of the sanction and the players' eligibility for future selection once the internal review concludes. For now, the focus remains on the integrity of the sport's anti-doping regulations and the procedural steps required to address this breach of conduct. Israeli airstrikes in Gaza have killed at least 14 people, including a group of mourners attending a funeral procession. According to Al Jazeera, the strike targeted a gathering of individuals who had assembled to pay their respects to a Palestinian killed by Israeli forces earlier in the same day. In addition to the 14 fatalities, medical officials report that at least 20 others sustained injuries during the attack. The incident occurred as the procession was moving through the area, marking another escalation in the ongoing conflict. Local reports indicate that emergency responders were dispatched to the scene immediately following the strike to assist the wounded and recover those killed. This latest development follows a series of intensified military operations in the region, which have consistently resulted in high civilian casualty counts. International observers continue to monitor the situation as humanitarian organizations express growing concern over the safety of civilians in areas where funeral processions and public gatherings are being targeted. The exact circumstances surrounding the strike remain under investigation, while the death toll is feared to rise as rescue efforts continue amidst the ongoing instability in the Gaza Strip. Tehran has formally accused the United States of targeting civilian infrastructure during recent military operations in the region. Iranian officials allege that the strikes, which were conducted by U.S. forces, caused significant damage to non-military facilities, disrupting essential services for local populations. According to NPR, the U.S. military has acknowledged the strikes but maintains that the operations were strictly limited in scope. Pentagon officials stated that the primary objective of these actions was to further degrade Iranian military capabilities, specifically targeting assets they claim are used to facilitate regional instability. The U.S. military maintains that its targeting protocols are designed to minimize collateral damage and that the facilities struck were directly linked to military infrastructure. The discrepancy between the two accounts remains a point of contention, as international observers continue to monitor the situation for independent verification of the damage. While the U.S. insists the operations were necessary to neutralize specific threats, Iranian authorities are calling for an international investigation into the impact on civilian life. The situation remains fluid as both sides continue to exchange diplomatic protests regarding the nature and intent of the military engagements, with regional tensions showing little sign of immediate de-escalation. Thank you for joining us for this verified update on today's global headlines. We will continue to monitor these developing stories throughout the day. NoorNews, verified before published.